The gentleman from Virginia is recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, under current law, if an employee wants to work overtime, put the money in the bank where it can earn interest, and use it to cover the cost of taking some time off later with the permission of the employer, he can do that today without this bill. But under H.R. 1180, instead of getting paid for overtime work at the next scheduled paycheck, the employee might not get paid until as much as a year later when his employer decides to let him take that comp time. This legislation simply weakens the protections available in the Fair Labor Standards Act, the original family-friendly workplace law, the very moment that we really ought to be strengthening the law. Under H.R. 1180, it would be legal to withhold workers' overtime pay for a long time. This would be otherwise a violation of the Fair Labor Standards Act. The bill would allow you to undermine the 40-hour work week by creating a mechanism that allows employees to earn time off to be with their families only if they spend extra time at work beyond a 40-hour work week. It undermines a worker's ability to earn overtime pay, which many workers rely on to send their children to college, save for retirement, or make a down payment on a house. Because the legislation makes it cheaper for employers to assign overtime to employees who agree to accept comp time instead of actual cash wages, this legislation makes it extremely likely that the only employees who will be asked to work overtime are those who agree to get comp time instead of actual time and a half paid cash. Furthermore, the legislation creates significant uncertainty for workers. An employer could decide that an employee cannot take comp time on the dates requested because the employer said it would be an undue disruption to business operations. My Democratic colleagues and I are working on a working families agenda with real solutions that would boost wages for working people and help them balance work and family life. An employee should be able to earn time off without sacrificing overtime pay. This is exactly what the Healthy Families Act would do. It would allow workers to earn up to 7 paid sick days. Finally, Mr. Speaker, 92 groups that actually represent working people sent a letter urging the Committee on Education and the Workforce to oppose the legislation. I ask unanimous consent to submit this letter into the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The letter is led by the National Partnership for Women and Families. It points out that we should be taking up real solutions such as legislation to raise the minimum wage, schedules at work act, family and medical leave, and other responsible solutions. These solutions would truly help working families, yet the majority has refused to support any of these initiatives. Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues to vote no on this legislation and reserve the balance of my time.